Joining me now is Texas Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. First of all, Congresswoman, happy International Women's Day to you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you as well. And it knows that when women work, women succeed. And I'm delighted to celebrate this day.
Same here. Congresswoman, do you think President Biden's decision to ban imports via executive order affect the efforts that were already underway in the Congress to do the same thing?
Well, there are two different pathways of a legal authority. I think he was absolutely right. You know, we were in the White House yesterday on a number of issues, and I'm very glad that the president mentioned his consideration, of which many of us had already recommended that we stop purchasing any oil product from Russia. His executive order is powerful, but it'll be even more important. It'll be complementary for the Congress to establish it as law. Russia needs to know that we are unified with the executive and Congress in our opposition to his vile, terroristic, and violent, if you will, cruel, brutal, and murderous war. It is Putin's war, and he needs to know that on the world stage, his behavior is unacceptable, and his killing of children and women is unacceptable.
Are you unified? Is that the sense you have right now on Capitol Hill, that both sides of the political spectrum are unified around this particular issue?
Well, it's amazing if we continue as we are, which we should. Republicans and Democrats have supported the idea that this war must stop, that it is important that we find a way to go back to the peace table or even to the peace table. But while that is happening, we are supporting the alliance, meaning the NATO alliance, allies who have now strengthened and rebuilt NATO under the guidance of President Biden. And we are prepared to stand as strongly as we can on the tactics that are being used, which includes removing them from the WTO, not buying any products from them at all, completely imploding their ruble, which is now 1 cent on the dollar, maybe even less, and taking them away from any privileges internationally as it relates to financial transactions. Anything more that we can do, and we should, is to bolster up Ukraine with the necessary weapons that they need. Yes, we have been united on that. I don't want war. I don't want the war to spread. I'd like to see a resolution of it. But in the meantime, this is so devastating. It is near World War III that we should stand united. There shouldn't be any peeling away of divisiveness based on party affiliation.
Do you think that's going to last, though? I mean, gas prices are predictably going to go up as a result of this decision. Do you think Republicans are going to play politics with that and bash President Biden with high gas prices, even though on a bipartisan basis they pushed him to this decision?
Well, Zelinda, I'm very glad that you asked that question, because that question has been discussed. I think it is important that the American people know that it's going to be a few difficult days or months, but that we have not ignored the plight that many who are on fixed incomes, vulnerable populations, low income. I happen to believe that there should be some consideration of these individuals with some sort of subsidy to supplement individuals that have this particular crisis that they may face. We need to continue to explain to the American people what is happening and continue to tell them that we're looking for solutions that can help bring down that cost of gasoline. We know people have to get to work. They're just coming outside of the pandemic. We're not forgetting them. But at this point in time, in order to not create an atmosphere of a World War III, we've got to stop Putin and really the loss of life. He doesn't even care that upwards of 4,000 of his own soldiers are dead, and their mothers and fathers didn't even know that they were leaving for a war. They thought they were leaving for the training that military personnel do, training exercises. And then to know that little babies, little 6-year-olds, the elderly, women, and others are being bombed in their homes. This is simply for the ego of Putin, and it just cannot last.
And the images of toddlers and infants, it's really difficult to watch. I want to turn to WNBA star and your constituent, Brittney Griner. She's from Houston, Texas. She's been detained in Russia for weeks now. You've called for her immediate release. Is there anything you can share about that? I know that is a very complicated and sometimes secret process to try to resolve situations like this. But can you give us an update on her situation?
Well, first of all, we are all praying for Brittany, her wife, and her family. And I ask the nation to do so as well. Her plight, as has other detained Americans, imprisoned Americans in Russia, has gathered the sentiment in the hearts and minds of Americans. Brittany gave athletic joy to Nimitz High School, to Baylor, and just to the nation, playing in the WNBA. And then, of course, spending years playing in Russia. She is not an unknown figure in Russia and has been a welcomed guest there. And so the outrage is that why was this young woman targeted as she traveled back and forth, as she's done dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times. We think this is a false, put up and Putin-based attack on her. But we realize that she has counsel in Russia. We want to be respectful of that. We want to be respectful of her family and the need to ensure that all is done to bring her home safely. At the same time, we were pleased in the meeting with the president to raise the issue, to present the president with a letter asking for her release and the help that we might give as members of Congress. And I'm very glad to note that not only the administration, the White House, but the State Department are well aware of Brittany. And let me be very clear, others who are now held in dastardly conditions by Russia. Russian incarceration is inhumane, cruel, and deadly, as we've seen before. So I want to make sure that we do nothing to harm her release. But yes, I'm demanding her immediate release because I think these charges are put up charges. I might use the term bogus. I am a lawyer. I know that there are laws that different sovereign nations have, but we ask, there's no reason that the matter could not have been resolved without this massive incarceration. And when I say that, detained and as well in conditions that I don't think are too pretty. And so long ago, and we're just getting notice, at least for those in the public arena, about this now. So Russia purposely did this under dark of night, and she does not deserve this, nor do the other prisoners who have been held wrongly in Russian jails.
Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, thank you so much for starting us off on this International Women's Day. Please stay safe.
Hi, I'm Zerlina Maxwell. Thanks for checking out our channel on YouTube. You can see more from Zerlina by clicking any of the videos on this screen, and make sure you subscribe below to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. Thanks for watching.